What's good? Welcome back to another episode of Where the Money At. And you know we locked in on cryptocurrency right now. Look, I'm gonna start off like this. When man runs out of gold, man will just create more gold. I got that from some book I read. And that's how I feel about this entire cryptocurrency market. What is Bitcoin? A software that somebody programmed. And based off of that, we have this entire market. So from that will come more gold, more opportunities like tokenization. What is tokenization? I keep talking about it. It's taking a real world asset and creating a coin for it or creating a token for it. So that's what I mean when I say markets are just created for these things. Liquidity is just created. So today we're going to get into it. We're going to get into a little bit of cryptocurrency TA. We're going to get into cryptocurrency companies building everywhere but the US. Then we're going to get into what institutions are doing with tokenization. And we're going to get into a specific example of what they're doing using JP Morgan Chase as an example. So let's look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is sitting at 36,100. Ethereum is sitting at $1,955. BNB is sitting at $229, and XRP is sitting at 58 cents. If we take a look at BNB, it's down 11.5% in the last 24 hours. And I'm pretty sure you know why, but we're going to get into why. But before that, let's do a little bit of TA. So let's pull up trading view here, and we have Bitcoin daily price action. So the current price is sitting at $36,080. And the new range it looks like we'll be in for a while will be between 33,800 and 38,000. If you're a trader, that's where you probably want to live for a little bit. None of this is financial advice, but it's looking like that's where we've settled. Let's get into a couple momentum indicators. Let's look at the RSI on Bitcoin on the weekly just to kind of see where we have more momentum going for the future. So it looks like we're kind of in the overbought area, which may explain a little bit of why the price action is a little bit down today. The last couple of days have been up, so it's looking like it's just the ebb and flow of the market. It's time to go down a little bit. Let's check out the MACD. The MACD is kind of showing that we have more momentum to go up in price. So we'll check that out. Let's check it out on the monthly really quickly before we end it. Let's look at the MACD. The MACD on the monthly says we have more momentum to go up. So, we have, let's say we probably go up to 40,000. Let's say, I don't see it going any higher than that. That's just a, random prediction, but we'll see. We'll see. It says we have more room to go up. Let's look at the RSI really quickly before we wrap this up. It's kind of in the middle in no man's land, neither overbought or oversold. So the monthly RSI isn't really telling us much, but that's that. So let's get into the news. Let's get into the obvious news. Let's get into the obvious news first because I already planned on talking about Binance today. But let's just get into the obvious news. CZ, the CEO of Binance, has to step down due to the legal battles that they've been going through. He has to step down and he has to pay out $4 billion, which was a settlement. And whenever there's a settlement, I don't really trust either side. The person who settled doesn't want all the information to come out, and the other person was probably looking for a payout from the get-go. So the US gets $4 billion and CZ steps down. But this is the point that I'm talking about, and this is probably why stories like this are coming out. The regulatory environment is not inviting for cryptocurrencies to build in the US right now. And other countries and areas are taking advantage of that by offering a very, very inviting environment. Bitcoin to launch Thai digital asset exchange in January. Yada, yada, yada. This strategic moves comes as Binance faces regulatory challenges in the Western markets, promoting or prompting the company to withdraw from the European Union, including the Netherlands, and consider closing U.S. operations. The legal scrutiny from the U.S. SEC against Binance and its CEO, or now former CEO, CZ, has intensified, highlighting the need for crypto businesses to seek regions with clear regulatory frameworks. That just explained everything we just talked about. So, what is the point? For US investors, things like this control your investment opportunities. Binance used to operate in the US. Everybody in the US used to be able to use Binance. And then at one point, you couldn't use it anymore due to the regulatory framework. I used to use a platform called KuCoin. and it offered, leverage trading. So I planned on using that strategically during the next bull run. But due to the regulatory framework, they had to leave the U.S. And this is what I mean when I say it controls your investment opportunities, because everybody does not get to participate on an equal level at this point due to country and regions regulations. So be on the lookout. And if you're planning a strategy, pay attention to this stuff because it will play a big part. So, oh, and what's the good part about Binance launching in Thailand? It's bad for the US in the short term, but great for the space as a whole in general, because more exposure, more people have the opportunity to get in. And let's admit it, the projects that we're getting in, we want as many people to invest in these projects as possible. So that's going to be great for pretty much everybody in the space in the long term. So let's get into, this kind of plays off the last part because this is being built in Singapore. So that was just the cryptocurrency aspect of, the regulatory wars. Let's get into the entire digital asset regulatory issues. You know what I'm saying? So cryptocurrency is just a subset of digital assets, but either way, it's growing everywhere outside of the US. I'm not saying the US is not growing, but the rest of the world is really, really inviting and embracing cryptocurrency and blockchain ledger technology. The Monetary Authority of Singapore partners with financial industry to expand asset tokenization initiatives. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm probably just go through these first two paragraphs really quickly because this is a huge article. I'll link every article I talk about in the description below so you can read it yourself. The MAS has unveiled plans to collaborate with the financial industry. This aims to broaden the asset tokenization initiative and build foundational capabilities to scale tokenized markets. This initiative is known as Project Guardian. It seeks to drive institutional adoption of digital assets, ultimately enhancing liquidity, unlocking investment opportunities, and improving the efficiency of financial markets. What did we talk about at the beginning of this episode? It's just more markets being created. Like, to be honest with you, it's almost out of thin air, because if you take a real world asset like gold and then you give it a digital token, it only has as much value as the people put into it. And that creates opportunities. So that's why we should keep our eyes open for things like this and opportunities. None of this is financial advice, but you know what we stress on this channel. Study as hard as you can in any financial aspect or any area that you're studying. Get on the bleeding edge, and that's how you find opportunities. Expansion of asset tokenization initiatives. Under Project Guardian, a consortium of 17 financial institutions has launched 5 new industry pilots to explore potential asset tokenization use cases. These initiatives could pave the way for the integration across the entire capital market value chain, including listing, distributing, trading, settlement, and asset servicing. Notable participants include Citi, T. Rowe Price, Associates, yada, 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 yada. So they talked about Project Guardian. What is Project Guardian? 17 financial institutions creating a bunch of new projects and just testing things out. How far can they push digital assets? How much liquidity can they create? And these are this is Project Guardian's website. These are big dogs: Apollo, BNY Mellon, Citibank, HSBC, who we talked about in the last episode, getting into digital asset custodies, JP Morgan, Onyx, USB. So Project Guardian is a collaborative initiative with policymakers and the financial industry that seeks to test the feasibility of applications in asset tokenization and DeFi while managing risk of financial stability and integrity. So they're just trying to figure out how they can make new products, and we need to be paying attention to this because these are what the big dogs are building. CBDCs are on the way. Each company probably is working on their own blockchain. So let's keep an eye out. And I'm not going to get into everything that they're doing, but the current pilots include asset and wealth management, fixed income and foreign exchange, BNY Mellon and other companies, they're working on cross-border payments using smart contracts, which create blockchain interoperability. Citi, T. Rowe, and Fidelity are testing institutional grade mechanisms to price and execute bilateral digital asset trades effectively and explore more real-time post-trade reporting and analytics of digital asset trades. And asset and wealth management, they got a bunch of people doing a bunch of stuff. And if you just go to the link right here for the PDF, you can see an itemized list of what these people are doing, the asset class, and the use cases of what they're doing, if you want to dive deeper. But so we went into what HSBC was doing, huge bank. Let's look at what JP Morgan is doing with Onyx. I bet a lot of you didn't know JP Morgan has been in blockchain innovation since 2016. And you can watch the video. We're not going to do that today, but they have about 4 things. They have Liink by JP Morgan, which is a blockchain that they built to exchange information between banks. A big issue about why banks take so long to transfer money back and forth, and it may take 3 days, it may take a week to transfer money, is the information sharing. They need to get information from other banks. This is a blockchain that they created to try to make it as fast as possible with permissions and things like that. If you understand ledger technology and blockchains, you'll understand the benefits of why they created this. Coin systems. They have something called coin systems. If you've ever heard of JPMC coin, this is what this is, their own token to make transactions faster. They have Onyx digital assets. This is a tokenization platform. So they're trying to take real world assets and tokenize them. And what does that mean? You take a piece of real estate, a house, and create a token for it, a brand new market. Boom. Now you have more liquidity. And it's basically creating new gold. That's what the premise of what all of this is, that all these blockchain projects are. I'm not saying they're all that, but all these are just software tokens. You know what I'm saying? Then we have blockchain launch. This is just a team of blockchain experts that they use to create custom blockchain solutions. So they got their best people, their best blockchain experts working on new projects all the time. This is probably just an incubator for new projects. But this is what JP Morgan is working on. And I'm pretty sure this started, or it went public as far as any publication I could read, around 2016. And I'm pretty sure all these companies, all these banks are really, really diving deep into this, because tokenization is going to be huge. Like, think about it. Like, they have the real estate market. Now you have a digital real estate market where you can interact. We need to have our eyes open and be looking for these opportunities every day. But look, I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. Like always, hit that subscribe button, because we're going to keep growing and we're going to keep having this information come to you. I'm going to holler at y'all.